Saul Canelo Alvarez, the Cinnamon Head, 5'9" with a 70.5-inch reach, was born in Mexico. But unlike Mexican fighters, Canelo has a unique style that incorporates some of the skill and style of Mexican fighting with the skills and style of a boxer puncher. Canelo defensively uses the high guard stance as well as the Philly shove. However, in using this stance, he is slightly squared. He also moves according like a boxer and not like a Mexican pressure fighter. Canelo has a variety of shots he uses, particularly utilizing the straight right left hook combination. However, he uses the jab and he uses his reach and length like a boxer. Canelo can pressure fight you, or he can move and box on the back foot, utilizing a half guard stance as well as utilizing a parrying, moving, rolling guard stance. Canelo Alvarez began his career at the age of 15 against Abraham Gonzalez, October 29, 2005. In his pro debut at such a tender age, he was able to knock out Gonzalez in the fourth round of the four-rounder. He would go on to have successive wins, one draw, and continue up the ranks until he was able to win some regional as well as international titles. Significantly was his international NABF welterweight title against Antonio Fitch. He would go on to win other regional titles and defend his international title until he met Murat Kuzi, who he competed against for the vacant WBC World Welterweight title. He would go on to defend his title and face Leonardo Tyner, December 5th, 2009. Leonardo was a skilled boxer, short, compact, and in that contest, Canelo Alvarez was able to get a unanimous decision win over Leonardo Tyner. He would go on to defend his title one more time before moving up to super welterweight and facing Miguel Cotto's brother, Jose Miguel Cotto, May 1st, 2010. In the early parts of that fight, Miguel Cotto was able to catch Canelo Alvarez with a left hook that stunned him early in the fight in the first round. But he would go on to outbox Miguel Cotto and finally stop him in the 9th round of the fight. He would go on to vie for the vacant WBC Silver Super Welterweight title against Luciano Leonel Coelho, defeating him by knocking him out in the 6th round. He would defend that title against Carlos Baldomir, September 18th, 2010. In that fight, Baldomir, who was way past his younger days, was knocked out in the 6th round. He would go on to defend his Silver Super Welterweight title against Lovemore Endu, December 4th, 2010. He would have a unanimous decision over Lovemore Endu, and that would set him up to face Matthew Hatton, Ricky Hatton's brother, for the vacant WBC World Super Welterweight title. March 5th, 2011. In that fight, Canelo Alvarez was deducted a point for hitting on the break in round 7. But many a time, the tough Matthew Hatton was in serious trouble against Canelo Alvarez, who bloodied his nose and beat him up quite severely in that fight to a unanimous decision victory over him. he would face 3 months later Ryan Rhodes, defending his title June 18th, 2011. In that fight, Ryan Rhodes almost went the distance after being knocked down once in round 4. But in the 12th round, Canelo Alvarez was able to finish the show with a technical knockout of Ryan Rhodes. He would face Alfonso Gomez 3 months later, and in that fight, Gomez would be knocked down in the first round and then stopped in the 6th. November 26, 2011, Canelo Alvarez faced Kermit Cintron, who was way past his younger days. Cintron was knocked down in the 4th round and then knocked out in the 5th. He would go on May the 5th, 2012 to face Shane Mosley. Canelo Alvarez would get cut over his left eye in the 3rd round after having an accidental headbutt against Shane Mosley, and would win by unanimous decision. Mosley, though, showing that he had a world-class chin and great heart in that fight. He would go on to face Josecito Lopez, September 15th, 2012. Lopez had come up from welterweight the fight before, and was no match, though he was game, for the powerful Canelo Alvarez, being knocked down multiple times in multiple rounds, finally being stopped in the 5th. Canelo Alvarez would then face the WBA world champion Austin Trout, who had beaten Miguel Cotto a few months before. He would face him April 20th, 2013. In that fight, Austin Trout was knocked down in the 7th round. He would get up and valiantly fight all the way to the final round. However, Canelo Alvarez would get a unanimous decision. But it must be noted, the fight was closer than the judges had it scored. He would go on to demand a match against Floyd Mayweather Jr. September 14th, 2013. In a mega fight in which pay-per-view numbers were broken, Canelo Alvarez faced up against one of the models to which he adopted some of his style. In that fight, the Grandmaster facing the young upcomer showed the young upcomer certain skills. Canelo Alvarez was schooled throughout that fight. However, it must be noted that he did still learn quite a lot against Floyd Mayweather Jr., who won by majority decision, even though it should have been unanimous decision. After facing Floyd Mayweather Jr., Canelo Alvarez then went on to face Alfredo Angulo, Erislandy Lara, and James Kirkland. Canelo Alvarez has a great promising future. Not just a Mexican warrior who fought on the inside, and a puncher that takes punches and gives. He is a smart, intelligent boxer. Using his intelligence, he is able to break down a fighter and then stop them. His future looks bright, and possibly could be another superstar and pound-for-pound king in boxing. You guys have a great one.